What's up, guys? My name is Ryder Mange. This is Ryder Mange Fishing, presented by Royal Coatings and Wholesale Batteries. Today I'm going to talk about the best co-angler setup I've found so far. And unfortunately, we aren't going to be able to look at the truck today because we are buried in snow. It's about 11 degrees outside as a high today. So I wasn't able to show you that too much. It's all covered in snow. But in a later video, we're going to be looking at my truck and boat setup, and once it warms up and there's not snow everywhere. But for now, we're indoors, and I'm going to be talking about my favorite co-angling setup I've found so far. So for those of you who don't know, I've been fishing the Toyota Series. This is my second season as a co-angler in the Toyota Series, and we're one tournament in. I fished Sam Rayburn just a couple weeks ago. Just got back from there, so I actually don't even have everything out of my tackle bag. So I've kind of had to repackage it to show you guys, but I think I've found at least my favorite setup, my favorite system for co-angling. And if you are looking to get into co-angling or just looking to really dial in your setup that you're using, look no further. You found the one. Let's get into it. So first, the bag. Of course, the bag is what really matters. Everything's gonna be in this tackle bag right here. And this is just a Cabela's one. I believe Plano makes it for Cabela's. It's there, it's like 60 bucks, so a little bit pricey, but there's some very important stuff in here that I want to show you. Before I show you what's inside, I first need to say that I've been using a couple of different tackle bags, a lot of them by Plano because I really like Plano's bags, but I've tried all of the smaller ones. I've tried backpacks. I've tried Bass Pro Shops makes a waterproof boating bag. I've tried that one too, but I haven't found one that just kind of fits my needs better than this one. And I think for any co-angler, this setup's really good for you. Of course, I'm not sponsored by Plano or anything like that or Cabela's, but I just really like this bag, so I really want to show it off to you real quick and show you pretty much how I package stuff in here so that I'm never without something that I need. Preparation is very important to me. I hate to get on the water and miss something. So for 2021, I've made all of these lists, and I've kind of made these systems to where I'm gonna remember stuff. So if you're like me and you hate having to forget that special bait that you think you might have wanted, then I got this set up for you. Before we look into the main compartment, I wanna show you the top here. This is just it comes with the bag. It's just a Cabela's. It's not super watertight, but it does have a rubber seal on the outside you'll see here to kind of keep water out. So typically, this is my day box type setup, which is just a huge bonus. Most bags don't have this kind of setup, but it's really nice to be able to have this on top. Sometimes when I don't need it, I'll put like my coal bags or maybe an extra jacket on top because it has this nice rubber like bungee type of strap that goes over it. And so I actually added a carabiner strap to go over top of it to keep it really on there when we're running and when we're trying to get to our spots, or if I'm just carrying it around and I drop it. I don't want to lose this bag if it's full of a bunch of expensive baits. And of course, this bag is going to fit into most boat compartments. A lot of times the boaters will have a back compartment open for you, usually the one behind your seat. Don't rely on that because it's not always that way. But if that is the case, I usually don't put this in there anyways. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. First of all, I'm going to show you inside. I got a little bit of everything in here right now just for demonstrative purposes, but of course I have it a lot more dialed in for tournaments, but this is just some ideas to give you. This is what I carry all my soft plastics in, is this type of binder. Bass Pro Shops also make one. They're really cheap. Again, not sponsored by them or Z-Man. Just like how they have these nice cheap binders. All of my Ned baits are in here. Always have a Ned rig on hand. Then I usually keep my leader line, which is usually a smaller spool. This is Sunline FC Sniper. This is my favorite leader line right now. And this is just some 10-pound I was using to throw a wacky rig on Sam Rayburn. But yeah, so I keep that for my spinning reels. And then if I really think I'm gonna be using them, I'll keep these bigger spools. This is 660 yards of Sunline. So I got a 15 and a 20-pound test for my chatter baits, and then some other reaction baits, maybe swim baits, stuff like that. If I backlash, it's happened. I don't want to have to be caught without the line to re-spool. And I've had that happen to me before, and it sucks, I'm telling you. So you don't have to be mooching off your boater all the time for a bunch of lines. So come prepared, have a list of the stuff you want to bring. The next thing I'm gonna have in here is just some soft plastics. Here's some worms that I got. Those are just some cut tail worms. I like to throw those on a Neko rig. There's some Yamamoto Zakos behind my chatterbaits. And then of course my 3700s. So I have 3 of these boxes, typically empty, and I'm gonna fill them with whatever baits that I need. Depending on how things go, I'm gonna just try to condense it all into one box, just kind of a mix of baits. Still keep it organized, but I mix the baits in one box. That way I'm not bringing my whole box of jigs or chatterbaits, and I can really condense it into this. That's been very helpful for me. So my setup for Sam Rayburn was actually a little bit different. I had 3 Plano 3700s. I always use the waterproof boxes. Better safe than sorry, you don't want your hooks to rust. Baits are expensive nowadays, you don't want to ruin your baits. And so I'm gonna fit 3 of those in here, and then that front area is where I'm gonna put some soft plastics that I was showing you earlier. This right here is a Plano bag, and so I have this organized with all my terminal tackle. I have my 1/0 hooks and my 2/0 wacky rig hooks, including the weedless ones. And so I'm gonna show you, here's just some of the VMC wacky rigs that I use sometimes. Here's another one. These are gonna be my bigger Ned heads. My 1/5 ounce and 1/4 ounce Ned rig heads are in here, so it's just a little bit of deeper Ned heads that I like to use. I don't really like to go too much deeper than a 1/4 ounce Ned head. Here's gonna be my flipping hooks. I got my regular 5/0, I got my 5/0 G-Lock and my 4/0. These are just some of my heavier flipping hooks. I got them organized in here. As you can see, they all stack in here pretty nice. A lot of people use these for soft plastics, but it's a little bit too big of a bag for me to bring for soft plastics. It doesn't let me condense it enough. Terminal tackle, on the other hand, usually I'm bringing the same stuff. I can switch these little things out. This one, for example, was kind of sitting on top of my box here, or in the side pouch because I was using a lot. These are just some of my flipping weights. Up here in this compartment on the lid is where I'm gonna keep my thinner spools of line, such as my leader line, or maybe some soft plastics. And then in this side pouch, I'm gonna keep more soft plastics. And you can see that there's a lot of room for soft plastics, and that's because I go through a lot of soft plastics. There's some scent right there. And this is one of the Bass Pro Shops bait binders. They have their own bags for these, so you don't have to hole punch your bags. Again, not sponsored by them, just like this product. These are some of my Zako trailers. A lot of it needs restocking, but you can see I got my black and blues. I got my watermelon, green pumpkin, just some of my Zako color, white, just some of my most used colors I keep in here. So I'm gonna keep that in the side compartment where I can get to it super easy. In this side, I just got some swim baits. These are just some of the Spark Shads. I also keep some Kitex in here, stuff like that. Just swim baits that I'm going to need to get out all the time. People typically keep their pliers in here, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my cutters in here because I find I get those out more than my pliers. And typically my boater has a set of pliers. Obviously I don't rely on that, and I'm gonna keep them in this main compartment. But if he does happen to have them, it's easier to grab his than to dig in here for mine. And since I'm getting out my cutters more than my pliers, I'm gonna keep them out in this main compartment. Just kind of a lot of common sense stuff like that can go a long way. This front compartment, sometimes I'll put my pliers in here, or a line, or just soft plastics I need to get to. Anyways, guys, this is my bag right here. I just have found that this works the best for me, and I think it's the ideal bag for a co-angler, not too big where it's not gonna fit in a compartment. It's gonna fit in a compartment, although I typically don't put it in there because I find myself getting to it too much to have to keep opening that compartment, digging in it. All right, guys, so as a co-angler, you are allowed to take a foul weather bag. My foul weather bag is a heavy-duty cinch-up backpack. And so in this, I'm gonna keep my rain gear. I usually even bring my food and a big water bottle. So here I have a heavy-duty jacket right there. Here's my rain jacket right there. And then down in the bottom here, I have a face mask. This is extremely important on those cold winter mornings when you're making those long runs. Your boater ain't gonna stop for you, so you better come prepared. I'll tell you what. Typically, you're gonna find that you're gonna be wearing your foul weather gear going onto the boat. Maybe rain gear is an exception, but if it's cold out, it's gonna be colder in the mornings. So typically this bag isn't really that full for me. It's usually pretty empty, so I can put some snacks in it that I'm gonna eat throughout the day. The only time it's full is usually taking it off the boat, and usually you're not in that much of a rush getting off the boat. All right, guys, so a couple of things that I see a lot of other co-anglers forgetting is split ring pliers. These are really nice if you need to change hooks on a bait. If you get hooked in the finger, you're gonna need to take that hook off. If you can't cut it, you might as well take off the split ring. Super glue. Super glue is really important. I always get the gel stuff. Instantly dries, no problem in the water. It's gonna keep your baits on really good. Always have some super glue on hand. Like I said before, pliers. Don't rely on your boaters having pliers. They usually do, but always bring an extra set just in case they don't. You'd hate to lose a fish just because you didn't bring pliers. It cost you a 1 pound penalty. I recently invested in a pair of deck boots right here. These are really nice. Sometimes if you don't have a pair of cold weather boots, these will come in handy. Of course, these are not made for cold weather. They're made for keeping your feet dry, because that is very important. So I can wear these in the middle of the summer or spring, and then I can also wear them in the winter and they'll still keep my feet warm. Just put on a pair of wool socks. And I mean, I can't tell you how nice these are. These are 80 or 90 bucks, I think. Definitely worth getting if you haven't already. Bring your own life jacket. Your boater's usually not gonna have one for you. Not worth the chance. Take your own life jacket. Don't forget it. Write it down on your list. And I always like these ones. This one specifically kind of supports your head a little bit more. If you're to get ejected from the boat and lose consciousness, it's going to keep you floating, keep you out of the water. As far as rods go, guys, it varies per tournament, but if there's one tip I can give to you, bring spinning rods, bring those finesse techniques, bring the techniques you're good at, because when fishing gets tough, there's nothing better than pulling out maybe a drop shot or a Neko rig, Ned rig, something that you have confidence in that's a smaller profile, or just something when they're a little bit more finicky or high pressure. Huge thanks to Wholesale Batteries and Royal Coins for presenting this video to you guys. If you're ever in the Kansas City area and in need of some battery help, definitely check them out. And of course, if you learned something from this video, or if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I read all of them and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss new videos as they come out. And I guess I'll see you in the next one.